She found her dream man while still grieving her ex, only to lose him on their wedding day, and discover a shocking secret he had been hiding that left her utterly floored. Before we begin, please subscribe and like this video. Also, drop a comment, let's dive in. Lillian Odissa stood before the mirror, adjusting her veil with trembling fingers. Her wedding dress hugged her body perfectly, the delicate lace glowing under the soft lighting of the bridal suite. "You look breathtaking, Lily," Zainab, her best friend, whispered, standing behind her. Lillian let out a soft laugh, her heart fluttering. "I can't believe this is real. After everything." She let the words trail off. After everything. She had once thought she'd never love again, that her heart had shattered beyond repair. But Daniel had changed all that. "Lily, you deserve this happiness," Zainab said, squeezing her shoulder. Lillian nodded, but an odd chill crept up her spine. Was it nerves? Or something deeper, an intuition she didn't yet understand? She forced herself to smile. "Let's get me married." Little did she know, she would never make it to the altar. 5 years earlier, Lillian had been madly in love with David, the man she believed would be her forever. Her 30th birthday was supposed to be a day of celebration. The backyard of her parents' home in New York was filled with music, laughter, and the warm glow of fairy lights. David had pulled her close, whispering in her ear, "I can't wait to make you my wife." But then, a scream pierced the night. "Lillian!" "David, he!" She turned to see her brother standing by the pool, his face ashen. Her gaze dropped, and her heart stopped. David's body floated lifelessly in the water, face down, motionless. The world became a blur, people shouting, arms grabbing, chaos erupting. The hospital smelled sterile, too clean for the tragedy unfolding inside it. Machines beeped, doctors whispered, and then one of them turned to her with sorrowful eyes. "I'm so sorry. There was nothing we could do." Lillian's world collapsed. For years, she lived in the shadows of grief. Then, in 2018, she met Daniel. It started with a simple message on a dating app. "Hey, beautiful. What's a woman like you doing here?" She almost ignored him, but something about his easy confidence intrigued her. The first date turned into a second, then a third. Before she knew it, she was laughing again, feeling something she thought was lost forever, hope. One evening, curled up on her couch, she finally told him about David. She expected him to hesitate, to pull away. Instead, he took her hand, his dark brown eyes filled with sincerity. "I'll never leave you like that, Lily. I promise." She believed him. The rehearsal dinner was perfect. Daniel was the life of the party, making her laugh until her stomach hurt. As they stood outside the venue afterward, he pulled her close, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "I can't wait to call you my wife," he murmured. "Me too," she whispered. She watched him walk away, not knowing it would be the last time she'd see him alive. The next morning, a shrill ring of her phone jolted her awake. She groaned, reaching for it. "Hello." Her mother's voice was unnaturally tight. "Lillian, you need to come downstairs." Lillian sat up, heart pounding. "What's wrong?" A long, heavy pause. Then. "It's Daniel. He's gone." The room spun. The phone slipped from her fingers. Zainab burst into the room, alarmed by Lillian's sudden gasp. "Lily? What happened?" Lillian's lips trembled, her breath coming in short, panicked bursts. "Daniel, he's dead." Her world shattered for the second time. 3 years later. Lillian never fully healed, but she learned to survive. She poured herself into therapy, and grief support groups. Then, on what would have been Daniel's 36th birthday, she was scrolling through Instagram when a post stopped her cold. A woman named Sophia had written, "Happy birthday to the man I loved. I miss you every day. Lillian frowned. The name, the birth date, it couldn't be a coincidence. Her heart pounded as she clicked on Sophia's profile. And there he was. Daniel. Her Daniel. Her breath caught in her throat as she scrolled through the photos. Our last trip together before he left. His last birthday with me. Her fingers trembled as she sent a message. Who was Daniel to you? Minutes crawled by like hours. Then. We were together for a year. He told me I was the love of his life. Lillian's stomach twisted. No. This had to be a mistake. With shaking hands, she typed, "When did you meet him?" The answer came too fast. 2019. The same year Daniel proposed to her. The same year they started planning their wedding. Lillian felt like the walls were closing in on her. She dialed Zainab, her voice breaking. He was cheating on me. Lily, are you sure? I have proof. She sent the screenshots, text messages, photos, love notes between Daniel and Sophia. Zainab was silent for a long time before whispering, "Oh my God." Lillian dropped her phone, pressing her hands to her face. She had spent years grieving a man who had betrayed her. Who was Daniel? The man she loved? Or the liar who had fooled her? Days later, Lillian stood by the ocean, the wind whipping through her hair. In her palm lay Daniel's engagement ring. It felt heavy now, tainted with lies. She squeezed her eyes shut. "I forgive you," she whispered, not for his sake, but for her own. With a deep breath, she flung the ring into the waves. It disappeared beneath the water, just as her love for him had. A year later, she met someone new. An old friend who had always been there, waiting for her to heal. And this time, she knew the love was real. As she looked at the new ring on her finger, she whispered, "This time, I choose happiness." If you enjoyed the story, please consider subscribing to my channel for more exciting content. Please like my video and drop your comment. Your support means the world to me.